Right, hopefully in this bag is something I've just managed to get my hands on, and it is a Flipper Zero, something I'd not heard of until recently, and it was a Kickstarter project, I think, back in 2020. I think it's relatively new, and make sure I've got all the bits here. Yeah, we have. And it's been extremely popular, and it's if you remember the Tamagotchi type devices from years ago, where you would interact with a little low-res screen and keep your little Tamagotchi alive. It's based on that. But I mean, that's just the the very beginning of it. This has got infrared capabilities, signal analyzer. It's got RFID and near field, RFID and NFC. Like you use with your cards, tags, and that sort of thing. So looking at the box, it's there's not a hell of a lot on the box, but let's just open it up. As I say, you cannot get this at the moment for love nor money. I was very lucky to find one of these on eBay, quite expensive, but it was something I wanted to have a closer look at. So in the box we have this is used, obviously. This isn't a new one. You can't buy them new. Somebody has sold this. It's got a 16 gig SanDisk Ultra card. I think 32 gig is the recommended size, but it can go up to 256 gig. But as it says here, but 16 gig should be enough. So it comes with a little quick start guide, how to power it on, updating the firmware. Now this is all open source firmware. The PCB design is known, and there are lots of developers working with these and doing all sorts of stuff with it. So the device itself is this. There we are. Very low res, apparently orange backlit screen that's 128 by 64 pixels. We've got looks like a USB-C port on the side. That is the infrared port on the back. Now this is for certain tags that you can place on here and read them and program them and things like that. I don't know whether you can see. Can you see the contacts on there? And the writing is input 5 volts 1 amp, made in China, obviously. And as I say, this one is used. There's a few little minor marks on it. The card goes in there, and there's room there for a little strap to feed through there, like a little wrist strap. So I think we're going to put the card in first, and it shows you which way round that goes. A little marking on there. Yeah, that's in, and to showing the screen scratched up, but you probably can't see, maybe you can. It'll probably polish out. Shame they didn't put a protector over it, but there you go. So let's press and hold for 3 seconds. It might be flat, of course. Let's see if it does anything. There we are. You can see that starting up. Okay, then you just use the navigation keys here. I really can't see this very well. Let's go back up. So you've got applications, and then settings, sub gigahertz, 125 kilohertz RFID, 125. Let me go down. NFC, so near field communications, and then you've got the infrared side of it, and then the GPIO, general purpose input output. So there is a expansion board that plugs in here for Wi-Fi use, and one of the things you can do with the Wi-Fi module is well, there's various hacking options available, software wise, firmware wise. There's a whole range of different uses to this, from the illegal, I should say, to the more useful ones, like replicating a remote control, infrared remote control. So we'll be trying it with all sorts of things. Let me just read through these other options. I think we've accidentally gone into one there. Let's go back out of there. Button configuration. Oh, I button. So there's an I button. Badge USB. You can plug this. You can run these programs and plug this into a computer or a laptop via the USB cable, and you can force the laptop or computer this is plugged into to run a script, so you can see where this could lead. U2F, applications, and back to settings again. It is a very clear menu, and no doubt we'll be having a little play with this over the coming weeks and months. There is a plethora of information on YouTube and websites, just absolutely every possible piece of information about this that you could ever wish for. It has been super popular, totally sold out everywhere. I think they might have a couple in the States, but everywhere else you just can't buy anything for them. You can't buy the unit, you can't buy the Wi-Fi module. I think I've managed to buy the Wi-Fi module from the States, but I've not had an update on shipping yet, so that just may have been not a scam, but it was an Amazon.com. So
sorry, I don't know that.
No, you don't. So yeah, we'll see if the shipping gets updated in the next few days, because I do like the idea of the Wi-Fi option and some of the things you can do with that. So yeah, that's just a quick look at that. Seems to be working just fine. So yeah, look, you can even benchmark the card. And it's running through a whole load of tests to make sure you've got a genuine and functioning card there. Yep. So I assume this has been factory reset. Custom firmware is available, various programs, all sorts of things. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, I would certainly advise going and having a closer look at the YouTube videos on this device. I think we're going to have some fun with this over the coming months. But yeah, anything interesting, I'll show it to you, and you see what you think. Well, that's the first look at the Flipper Zero.